Welcome to In the Zone, National Flood Experts Project Spotlight Series. Here today with Buffy Kistrup of Rood Investments. Buffy, how are you today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Great. Thanks so much for being with us.
No problem.
So I'd love to kick it off if you could just tell us, a little bit about yourself and your business.
Sure. Rood Investments has properties pretty much across the company, mostly triple net leases. And so we do have several Tractor Supplies, and that's where your crew came in to help us.
Got it. So I believe you are located up in the Northwest, and you guys have properties all across the nation. So inevitably, flood zones are everywhere.
Correct.
Now, how did you and our sales representative come into contact with each other?
Barrett just reached out to me via email and about our property down in the Tampa area, Oldsmar, and which we do have a flood policy on, and just said that that it might be possible for that to be redacted. And we just happened to have another property in Texas where we're going through the same process, and I'd already kind of started the process of getting the LOMA for that property as well for another company. But he stepped in and really did an amazing job helping us with both eventually. So.
Oh, great. So how would you characterize or describe the experience working with our team, maybe in comparison?
Night and day. I mean, he walked me through all the steps through the very end. And I was so appreciative, and even helping with Texas, because it was my first time. So I really didn't know what was going on. And even after getting the LOMA, and not being deserted, and walking through the process with our insurance carrier and everybody, and just, holding my hand basically. And it was awesome.
So you guys focus mostly on retail, triple net type scenarios. It seems like, is that the same for the whole portfolio?
For a majority, there's, some multifamily, there's retail, shopping centers, Tractor Supplies, and a few medical facilities as well.
So what type of impact does it have, on a property like what's here in Oldsmar, Florida, in getting it out of the flood zone and having the flood insurance requirement removed?
We kind of had an idea with that property because we knew in the building specs, it was something that we had recently purchased. It's just one little less, I guess, thing that when you're managing a lot of properties, to take one less thing out, especially with insurance. And everyone knows that insurance is just going through the roof these days. So.
Have you all ever had an instance where you had a building that was vacant that you guys had like a flood insurance requirement, like in this scenario?
No, nothing vacant. No.
Gotcha. Yeah, we've had a few clients where during COVID they had some vacancies,
Oh, yeah.
so avoiding having to pass through that cost, at least for those short years, seemed to be very helpful. So I was just curious if you all had ever had the same experience.
No, not us. No.
Got it. So I know this was not a huge dollar amount necessarily in the grand scheme of probably some of your expenses, but, what type of impact does, removing this expense have on that particular business entity?
I think anything matters. I mean, like I said, it wasn't a huge amount considering, looking at the big picture, but, it does add up.
Yeah. Year over year, I
Yeah,
think it's hard to
sure.
find those types of, yearly savings in general.
Well, especially when it's something that you don't need. I mean, why am I paying for something that I don't really think that we need? So.
So for other companies like yours that are going through a similar experience with flood zone properties in their portfolio, what advice would you offer to, someone else kind of in the same situation?
Well, Barrett made it pretty painless, and I would highly recommend it because there's really nothing to lose. Because if you can't get the LOMA, then there's really no fee, and no upfront costs. And I thought, well, you have nothing to lose, so let's go ahead and give it a shot. And it was just it worked out great.
Well, we appreciate your partnership, and hopefully there's other properties down the road that will be able to equally offer some value.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe up in the upper Northwest where you are, who knows?
You never know.
You never know. Well, thanks again. I appreciate you coming on today, and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks so much. You too.